Your daily drive is a fib. It's a little white lie. Not your car, not your commute, but the story you're telling yourself about what you need from a vehicle. And that lie is costing you money, costing you time, and keeping you stuck in the past. Now, electric cars made up almost 25% of global new EV sales in 2025. But here in the US, we are almost at 10%. And the number one reason people give for not going electric here in the US is not price anymore. It's range anxiety, the fear of being stranded with a dead battery. Here's the thing, that fear is built on a fundamental misunderstanding of how you actually use your car. Welcome to Jim's EV Adventures and another episode of EV Bunk Blasters. Range anxiety sounds rational. Who wants to be stuck on the side of the highway at night with zero juice and no way to get home? It's a nightmare scenario that we've all played out, and for over a century, we've actually been conditioned by gas stations on every corner and those infamous 5-minute fill-ups. So when someone says an electric car, our brains immediately go to worst case mode. But that nightmare, it's fiction for 99% of your driving life. Let's look at the numbers. Not the fantasy road trip you take once a year, your actual, boring, everyday driving. The average American drives 30 to 40 miles per day. The Department of Transportation says so, AAA says so, the Bureau of Transportation Statistics says so. Now, let's look at what a modern EV can actually do. The median range for a median EV available in the US today is almost 300 miles. Not the top-end luxury models, the median. Give you an example, the 26 Leaf delivers 259 miles, the new 27 Bolt, 262 miles, and both are priced around $30,000. The Tesla Model 3, the Hyundai Ioniq 5, and Chevrolet Equinox EV all deliver over 300 miles of range. Let's do the math. You need 40 miles a day. Your car gives you 250 to 300 miles. That's 5 to almost 7 times more range than you're going to use on any given day. Here's where the misunderstanding lives. For 100 years, we've been trained to think about refueling in one very specific way. Drive the car until it's empty and pull into a gas station, fill up in 5 minutes, and repeat. That model doesn't apply to EVs at all. An EV works like your phone, your cell phone. You don't wait until your phone hits 1% and then panic about finding an outlet. Nope. You plug it in at night and you wake up with a full charge. Every single day starts at 100%. So let's apply that to your 40-mile commute. But for your car, you're going to start at 80%. You use maybe 15% or 20% if it's really cold, and you'll still get home with 60% charge still sitting in your tank or your battery. You plug in overnight with a basic level 2 charger like the one I'm using here on the Bolt, and 2 hours later, you're back at 80%. If you want to know why 80% and not 100%, see the video that's popping up here at the top of the screen. Now, that weekly trip to the gas station is gone. The concept of running on empty becomes irrelevant for your daily life. Look, if this is making you rethink everything you thought you knew about EVs, do me a favor, go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. This channel exists to cut through the noise and give you the facts the fossil fuel industry simply don't want you to hear. But what about road trips? Well, that's a fair question. And here's where people make a classic mistake. They let the 1% use case dictate the 99% purchase decision. I'll give you an example. It's like buying a 15-passenger van because once a year you might need to drive your kid's soccer team to a tournament. But for the other 364 days, you're stuck wrestling an oversized vehicle into a parking spot just to get groceries. We don't buy things that way, except apparently when it comes to EVs. We obsess over that annual road trip and completely ignore the 300+ days of short, predictable drives. For daily use, a modern EV isn't just capable, it's actually overkill. Okay, but seriously, what about the road trip? The charging infrastructure isn't coming anymore. That's because it's here. The US had under 29,000 public charging stations in 2020. But by early 2024, that number had more than doubled to over 61,000. And as of January of 2026, there are nearly 80,000 public DC fast charging ports in the country. And that number will probably top 100,000 by the end of this year. A 2024 Pew Research study found that 6 out of 10 Americans already live within 2 miles of a public charger. DC fast chargers, the ones along the highways, can take most modern EVs from, say, 20 to 80% in about 20 to 30 minutes. And that's basically a coffee stop or a bathroom break or a stretch your legs if you're a safe driver. And modern EVs come with a nav system that automatically routes you to the fast chargers on your trip. It's not guesswork. It's actually built into most cars. Is it different from pulling off at a random exit for gas? Why, yes, of course. Is it the logistical nightmare people imagine? Not even close. Now, the US crossed 1% EV market share in 2017. By 2024, we were almost at 10%, but we've leveled off for the past couple of years due to one simple thing: fossil fuel FUD. But you're already seeing more EVs on your street and more chargers in your town. This is becoming normal. And the final barrier, price, is absolutely crumbling. Average new EV transaction prices today are around $54,000. And that is less than $5,000 more than the average new car price, which is at $49,800. You would save that much in gasoline in the first 2 years. And on the used market side of the house, the market is flooded. It is flush with top-end EVs for well under $35,000. That's competitive with gas cars on sticker price alone, before you factor in never buying gas again and drastically lower maintenance costs. The lie isn't that you were wrong to feel anxious about something new. The lie is that gas cars are a perfect fit for your life and EVs are some risky compromise. For most of us, the opposite is actually true. A 300-mile EV is a fortress of capability for a 40-mile daily routine. I drive this one 100. I have no problems. That's almost every day, 100 miles. Range anxiety is a psychological ghost, a leftover from a century of gas-powered thinking that doesn't match the reality of how EVs work or how we actually drive today. Here's your move. Track your actual driving for 1 week. Just one. Check your odometer. You'll see that I'm right. You barely drive at all. Then get in an EV and drive it. Feel what 300 miles of range actually means when you only need 40 or even 100. And when you do, come back here and tell me I'm wrong. Drop your experience in the comments. A real experience, not something you made up. I can take the hate. Just check the comments on previous videos. And if this video just shattered the range anxiety myth for you, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Share this with anyone who's still making excuses about going electric. Look, the future is already here. Stop letting fear keep you in the past. This is Jim's EV Adventures and an episode of EV Bunk Blasters. And I will see you out there or somewhere along the route from point A to point B. Thanks for watching.